Yes, my people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back with another Give Back podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Give Back TV channel. Today's topic is slightly going off the footballing subject. Obviously, we are a football and community-based podcast. Unfortunately, there's been a sad incident that's happened, recently last month, and again it's happened today in Reading. So today's topic we're going to be talking about is knife crime, but specifically what's going on in our town of Reading. Before we fully go into things, just want you guys again just to introduce yourselves. So if I start from my right, just give your name.
It's Kelvin, Mr. Gumser. My team won this weekend.
Yes.
Can you lot say the same? Alright, hear the silence, nice.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
There's no introduction needed, man. You said my name already.
What's that, D-Ray?
Exactly that.
Say no more.
AK scared him. So I'm Marcus.
AKA Scared MC.
Right, so we've got the introductions out of the way.
And you are?
I'm Moses. Yeah.
Moses who?
Don't worry about that. But before I go into things, what I'm going to do is specifically highlight the reasoning behind doing this particular topic. It's not really a topic that we would, we'd want to cover, but it's a thing that we have to cover. So that's why we've chosen it. So what I'm going to do is start off, for people who don't know, with what's happened this year in 2021. We're only in February at the moment, but there have been a number of incidents that a lot of people, to be honest, in the town are not aware of. So this information that I've got here has been taken from Get Reading, so it's all verified and whatnot. So in terms of recent incidents regarding knife crime itself, the first incident was back on January the 1st, where a man was stabbed on Shinfield Road in Reading. Mm-hmm. Again, another incident 2 days later, January the 3rd, where condolences to his family, Ollie Stevens was stabbed to death in Emma Green. 3 teenagers have been charged with his murder. January the 14th, a man in his 20s was stabbed near Oxford Road. He's alive. Again, 4 days later, January the 18th, a man in his 40s was stabbed on Church Street in Reading. February the 6th, a 26-year-old man from Tylers dies after being stabbed. And like I said, unfortunately today, February the 14th, a young man aged 24 has died after being stabbed in the chest in Caversham. So that's 3 murders in 2 months in Reading, which has actually resulted in a massive increase in police presence around the town. And also we now have the Section 60 stop and search. I believe D-Roy, he was
on the receiving end.
On the receiving end of that, coming to the podcast studio. Yeah. What actually happened?
So I've literally left, obviously, D Road area. Obviously near where the thing happened last week. Yeah. And to be fair, I wasn't even paying no attention, so I didn't clock them until I got down to by Rivermead, and then I was thinking, why is this car following me all the time? And then I pulled in, it's just pulled up to me, and it's like, oh yeah, obviously we've seen you come out from that area, and we've got the Section 60, so we have to search everybody and anybody.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know I wasn't the only car that come out at that time, but yeah.
Yeah. Did they say it was for reasons behind what's going on?
Yeah, that's exactly what they said straight away. Like, as you can imagine. So I was like, to be fair, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. Like, I'm not gonna kick up a fuss about it, but I know there's like 2 cars behind me and in front of me as well. So
yeah. It's one of them ones.
Do you reckon they would have stopped you if you were coming here? No, I'm joking. It's all of us. We won today, somehow. I will be serious.
So, have you actually been stopped and searched before in your past?
What, under the Section 60 thing?
Just under anything, have you been stopped and searched?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'd like to hear regarding yourselves, Gums and Marcus, obviously you guys are from the elder generation, let's say.
Don't put me in this.
You guys have been about for a long time. So
To be fair, you couldn't even tell the difference between the age when it comes to Marcus, to be fair.
to be fair.
They look about the same age. They look about the same age.
I'm younger than you though, so what's happening there?
Get the fuck out. Mind my French.
Yeah. But if we start with Gamza, obviously coming up from your younger generation, have you yourself noticed a change in Reading? Obviously, what's going on in recent times compared to how you was brought up? Increase in knife crime or?
Yeah, massively. I feel when I was younger coming up, we would be on the fist fighting thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that was kind of what we done. I remember being a younger man, being at the fair and seeing man get beat. Got a bit older, I would say my 19s, 20s, it started to change a little bit, where there was more, I would say more like pack animals, where it'd be 10 man rush us for 4 people or whatever it was. Again, still not, it's bad, but it's still better than people losing lives, do you know what I mean? And I think in the clubs, you would get people throwing bottles, things like that. You hear the occasional slicing of a bottle, someone might smash a bottle and then use that, but nothing to the extent now, like they're actually walking around.
So going back to like school days and your younger years, mainly your teen years, was there not really people about who were carrying knives or?
Not from where I went.
Really?
So if you know me, obviously Caversham, kind of all my life. I went to Chiltern Edge School, so it's just a bit further out. I should be a high downer really, but I got sent to Chiltern Edge. So you heard the occasional someone had like a pen knife, or I remember one time actually at Night Rollers, I got into it with one boy at school, and then his friend come, Night Rollers, and they said, oh, he's got something on him, but I never saw it. I was only about 10, 11, but, and that, man, you know, like when you're young, you had that one mad you, like, it was him, so I think he was in like juvies at like 13 and stuff, so, but it wasn't really nothing we done, like, not saying certain man didn't carry certain weapons, but even if someone did, it was small, do you know what I mean? You don't really carry, you see these like boys carrying these blades now, like
big machetes.
Some Rambos, it's gone to another level, and it's at that point where it's kind of like, how does it slow down or stop? Not saying I understand why, but at the same time, if you are about it and your friends are about it, you don't know what another man's carrying, so for your own defense, you're probably going to carry one, but again, it's just a cycle, isn't it? And you might have intentions of not using it, but you're carrying it for protection. But if you know you've got it and then the 2 men are running you down, you probably are going to use it. Do you know what I mean? If you haven't got it, you might fight with your fist, but if you've got it, again, as self-protection, you probably will use it, but then it's where does it stop, do you know what I mean? I've been thinking about it for weeks. Again, my son's 13, going to be 14 this year, so he's at that age, so it's like, you are fearful, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to send the kids certain places, or do you know what I mean? Like, even send him to the shop sometimes. I think, again, he lives one area, but he comes to my house on a weekend. He doesn't really socialise, really and honestly, because weekends to me is kind of all around football. So he's not one that would be out and about. So even walking to the shop, like, there might be some boys who are from the area and he's not. So would they stop him, or do you know what I mean? So it's.
So your son is how old, sorry?
He's 13, going to be 14,
so
this year.
That's the same age as Ollie Stevens, who passed away. When you heard what happened to Ollie Stevens, did you yourself, has that changed your mindset? Obviously, your son being that same age. Did you ever think before that, like, your son is at danger? Or has that changed your mindset since that situation?
Like, it was sickening. I'm not going to lie, to hear it, like, your belly goes. Even again, me and my son had the conversation the same day when it happened, and it's just, as I said, him growing up, so I remember from primary school age, anyone troubles you, you hit them back. And that's the message. I think we all grow up on that, innit? Anyone troubles you, our parents always tell us, anyone troubles you, you don't hit them first, but they hit you, you hit them back.
If you don't hit them, you'll get beat.
When you come in here, and I found myself have to change that. So I said to him, someone troubles you, call me, you leave, you come. don't care what you look like.
Yeah.
To your, people might say, oh, Jordan, whatever ran, don't care. Do you know, I'd rather you run and get home safe than go and approach a situation and something bad happens. So again, my teaching for him is different, and you don't know wants their son to grow up a victim or, you know what I mean, weak or whatever, can't defend himself. But at the same time, it's the bigger picture you got to look at now. I was all for him getting beat up, but it's gonna happen. We all beat people. We all got beat. You know what I mean? It's part of life, and I think it builds some resilience. And I think part of the issue is I don't think these kids have got much resilience, so they're scared of taking a lash. Again, if you never took one, you don't know what it feels like. So in your head, you're thinking, rather than take this lash because I don't know what it's gonna feel like, I carry the tool. So it's just, you know what I mean, it's sad that you have to kind of prepare your kids for these things, and you know what I mean, it's worrying to think like, because you might go to a party and you don't know who's going to turn up there or what intentions they've got, or do you know what I mean, there could be half the man in there be carrying something. Do you know what I mean? So well, teaching him's different now. Do you know what I mean? When he was younger, it was very much a case of someone trouble you, trouble them back, whatever it is. Now it's, boy, like, take yourself away from it. Little something happened at school the other day, and even I'm worried, thinking, I don't want you. He didn't do nothing wrong, but he kind of saw something that happened, and I'm saying to myself, don't even say nothing. Like, teachers are kind of pressing and say, oh, we knew you was around, we looked at the cameras, you was there, and I'm saying to him, don't say nothing, because you don't want for something to happen and it come out that you said something which you ain't done it in a way of grasping. Yeah, but then all of a sudden that boy now might get expelled, but then he's come back to the school and I catch him, I got expelled, whatever it is. So it's, you know what I mean, it's very much a case of just trying to remove yourself from any situations like that. So
would you say, like, more in your day, if kids had a situation, had a problem, it was more a fist fight situation than the knife?
Especially at 13, 14, it was a fist fight thing. I remember just running down the field, someone's had a fight, and walking in, you got the whole crowd behind you, got the bag and whatever. And that's what it was, you know what I mean? And partly, I will always say, there's certain things missing from the community. I know we will touch on it later. But I think the leadership from some of the elders have got a big part to play in this. So I know when I was, say, 14, I got into a little setting down at Amersham Road, playing football, we playing, and then me and this boy started going at it. And one of the older man said, what, you two gonna fight? If you're gonna fight, everyone get out of the way, let them two fight. We had the fight. When it was over, I won that one, to be fair. I was getting on top of it. But even that, I had a bit more in me and I could have given a bit more. So I said, nah, you've done enough now. Shake hands, call it a day. And nothing else can come from that because the older man has spoke on it. You had your fight, it's done.
So from there it was squash, done.
Squash, you see the man the next day and it's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, when you move on from it, but there's a very big disconnect at the moment. So again, I'm not too sure what's happening. We might get an older man saying, what, he done that? Take that then, innit? And that's the difference. So as Marcus as my older, like, man with respect, people like Marcus, you know what I mean? When I was coming up, my brother was 3 years older than me, so all his friends, you have respect for them. So even if I've got into something, and just say I've got into something with somebody, and man will say, yo, that's so-and-so's brother, you've got to let that go. And I was like, alright, cool, because Marcus has told me you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? So as an older, I respected my elders, do you know what I mean? So they would almost police the area at the same time. So
would you say there's a lack of that nowadays?
Yeah, 100%. That man used to give us licks, don't get it twisted, but no one could touch us at the same time, do you know what I mean? So if you was that area, I remember certain man used to hold me up and beat me for fun. I was cheeky as well when I was younger, but it was a respect thing of, they man with the oldest, you'll be cheeky to them, they chase you around the estate or whatever it was. But anytime anything happened, like, again, I went Chiltern Edge, so my weekends I was with the high downers. My brother was a high downer, so they man would see Chiltern Edge and beat them up. So I'm there, so I'll give them my 2 kicks. The rest of it, not figure I've got school on Monday. When I come to school on Monday, year 11s, I'm year 8, year 11s are holding me up, and I'm getting into it, and I'm holding my own. But then I'll go and see one of them, and like, yo, you know, someone said that to me. What? Wait till after school tomorrow. Then I'm sitting on the bus. I say, oh, they're there. I'm happy, bro. Like, the older man there, they do with it. But again, it was. Do you know what I mean? It was how it was, do you know what I mean? But it was nothing went...
It was always a fisting.
Yeah, it never went beyond it. Do you know what I mean? It was just, not saying it's right, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, boys are boys, do you know what I mean? It is a dominance for, like...
Was that just around your school though? Like, what happened? Was there anything outside the school?
Yeah, so sometimes it would come outside, but again, it was still to the level of, it was just licks. Like, it was just, man would get beat up, you go to school Monday, then I would be on the receiving end again, then come Friday, man would check, do you know what I mean? It was just back and forth in, but it never got to the point, and you know what's mad as well, like, I remember sometimes, there's certain man who you don't really talk to.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like some man, you see them in red and you don't really talk to them. I remember then going Slough, and I see a man, and I said, yeah, you cool, what's going on? Because now, you know, we might not get on the red end, my people look like your people, but we're out of town now, so you know, if anything kicks off with you, then, you know, I stand strong with you because we're out of town, we look up, do you know what I mean? So, it's just having them kind of basic fundamentals, and again, I do think some of the older guys brought that to us because there was certain older man when we were growing up who, you respected them, do you know what I mean? And they looked after you at the same time, and again, with certain things like keeping man on the straight and narrow, like, I know it's not a dream, but it's almost like if a man comes to you and says, well, I've got so with this man, or I want to get into this line of work or whatever, but man's good, talented at football or good at acting or something, you just get the man say, you know, you don't even need to come down this way, young blood, you know, I'll still sponsor you, I'll look after you a little piece, but come back when you make it, come back and see me, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many men that have almost made that at football, but before they've even tried again, man are on the roads now. Do you know what I mean? And it almost needs some man to say, yo, you shouldn't be here with us, man. Like, what, you short of money? Cool, look, let me give you that. Go and shine, and when you shine, don't forget about me. Do you know what I mean? Or bring something back, or do something. Like, I've got these next 10 that need some support, give them some football kit, or, do you know what I mean? That's how it should be, innit? Like, we need to show these men the better way. So, for instance, obviously, you know, I've got a football team. The other week, one of them's got into a little something, and I just thankfully called my phone. So when I spoke to him, I said, yo.
Well, that's away from the pitch.
Yeah. So obviously, all during lockdown, I ain't seen the man, but he's called me, yo, I ain't gonna lie, blah, and he's losing it. I said, yo, come on, what's going on? Spoke to him. I said, do you know what? I said, I'll be honest. He's gonna get what's coming to him anyway. You don't need to involve yourself in it. So you're already telling me 2 men are already looking at him, and you've kind of quieting that down. Don't even get involved. But you've got aspirations and dreams. I know you want to go America, hopefully, and play football out there, or go to college, or do whatever you're doing. You can't do that with that red cross across your name. So you need to look after yourself. Yeah, I know that you're boys, but you need to think about yourself as well. And then I spoke to another brethren, and he said to me, boy, blah, blah. I said, just diffuse it. 2 very good kids, they listened, and hadn't nothing much from it. Check up on him, what's going on in that situation? Oh, do you know what? Is what it is. And again, heat at the moment, his head was hot, and I get it. But 2 days later, when you're thinking rationally, now you realise it don't even matter. Do you know what I mean? What we're looking to argue about, it don't even really matter.
Well, the situation diffused in the end.
As far as I'm aware, they probably don't get on. But it hasn't come to nothing.
Serious has gone on.
Hasn't come to nothing. And even I know the guy who's called me, I know he can throw hands. So he's going on the intention of, I'm whacking man up. So my thing for him is, if something comes off that, you could still end up in trouble.
Of course.
But I understand you want to fight, man. And day and age is different. When we was coming up, we didn't have cameras like they have now. So everyone's got to film everything. So straight away I say, there's no point in me getting involved because someone's going to film it. You're going to get caught. Cool. But again, you don't know what he's going to come with because he knows deep down you'll get the better of him in a fist fight. So his mind might be thinking, nah, I've got to walk with something. It's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? So luckily at the moment, nothing's happened of that. But again, this is where it's important of people having mentors around them, older guys around them. But again, the older guys they need to see are this kind of man who are gonna try and guide them down the right path, rather than say, "What, he did that to you? No, that's a file. Check that." Do you know what I mean? So we've all got a responsibility. We're probably going to cover it a bit later, but it's not just on 5-10 people. We've all got a responsibility. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's kind of like, and I get it, we've all got busy, we've all got lives, a lot of us got kids, other things. So for the younger generation, they don't really see us. When we was coming up, we had excursions, we had christenings, weddings, we had parties. So I might see a man with a nice BM. So what do you do? Oh, he works at BT, he's worked there all his life. So you're going to get the mix. Whereas at the moment, I'll be real, we're not that accessible, some of us. Like, a lot of us aren't accessible. So for the everyday kid, the only man they're seeing is the man that is outside the betting shop or the man that is on the road. So that's what they're going to relate to, whereas they need to see the man who's working in the office, the man that's working as a binman, the one that's working at the post office. They need to see everything, because again, like, they need to see, oh, I can go down that road. Oh, he's an electrician. Rah. Oh, he's a plumber. Rah, how did you get into that? Do you know what I mean? They need to see that. Like, we all get recommendations when we're coming up. So, do you know what I mean? I'm looking for a job in this industry. Ah, no, so and so. Go check for my man. And they need that they need to be that link again, because I think it's very fractured at the moment. And
I think a lot of the younger generation, they don't realise that certain men who have got what they've got, even if it is a nice car or a house or whatever materialistic things it might be, some of these men have got that from working hard and having a straight 9-to-5 job and just getting their priorities in place.
And I'll be honest,
and the peace of mind, man.
And the peace of mind.
And I'll be honest, not saying certain men haven't got money who are being in the game, certain men have got real money. But there's certain men who are probably sitting on a lot of money and can't do nothing with it. Can't do nothing with it. Do you know what I mean? So, as much as, yes, at 17, it might look glamorous to be able to get, do you know what I mean, the new deals or whatever it is. I'm a big man, I don't buy them things, do you know what I mean? Because it's just materialistic. Like, I don't want to, I would love to, but at the same time, we might think about bills and balancing and whatever. You've got to do what you've got to do, what's right in it. So, again, I do feel sorry for it, because this generation, like, we didn't have Instagrams and things like that. So, again, if you're just getting fed this all day, every time you look on something, it's the latest designer. You see a man got all kind of teeth, like diamond teeth, the chains. I see a man got a diamond in his forehead now. Like, do you know what I mean? But if you're just absorbing this all the time, when are you seeing any regular people? Like, all you're seeing is influencers or rappers or footballers. That's the only thing you're seeing. So again, the pictures, I'm seeing man stunting with cars, you don't own the cars. Don't get me wrong, man going to them big parties in like luxury houses, which is just an Airbnb or rental thing. So as much as it looks the part, it's not real life. There's certain man out there living on a mattress. Do you know what I mean? Like, mattress ain't got nothing, but on a common weekend they're buying bottles and they got brand new gums on, but you go in the yard, they ain't got nothing. Do you know what I mean? So there's nothing wrong with doing it the long way. Like I said, that peace of mind, just being able to sleep at night, not worrying about who's coming through your door, or man already, not can't even talk on your phone properly because you don't know if man are tuned into it, or do you know what I mean? Like, it, to me, it ain't worth it. I said, I've got a lot of friends who are doing very well for themselves by having a job, by going to college, but some man didn't go to college and still come out well. Some man didn't go I didn't go uni. I went to college for about 5 years, bro. You know what I mean? I just went to college because mum said I have a college or a job, and I said, right, you go college guy. I didn't really come out with no good qualifications, but you make doing it, but it is mindset, it is friendship groups, do you know what I mean? We've all probably had some people who could lead us the bad way, and you've got a few people that can steer you the right way, and it's about making good decisions. I think a big issue of our culture is pride, how we look. Don't want to lose face, and I get it, I do get it. There's nothing worse. Do you know what I mean? Nothing worse than you think, oh, everyone's laughing at me, or whatever it is. And especially this day and age now, where you've got the social media thing, because again, we all find it's funny, but again, you don't know how that person's feeling when it happens. But at the same time, when you can look back on life and think, yo, like, boy, that happened 10 years ago, and look where I am now. And then you might have some man now who are just in and out of prison, in and out, or ain't got nothing, or man are asking you for a lift now, and you're thinking, wow, like, you was a big man to me, or you was doing this at this age, innit? Now it's flipped, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just kind of trying to teach them the long game. And again, this is what I say, we've all got a responsibility, because we all had experiences, and again, everyone relates to someone different. So, do you know what I mean? Who might not relate to me, I think this boy's as a clown, he's always joking around. Might buck up on Dero and be like, yeah, do you know what? He's more my fit, do you know what I mean? Because he's more sensible. He might even live in my estate, so he understands it a bit more. He went to my school, or he knows my brother, do you know what I mean? So it's everyone's responsibility. You can't just fall on 10 or 20 people, because there's too much kids out here, do you know what I mean? And again, everyone's got a different history, a different path, which then someone might connect with more, if that makes sense. So for me, it's just, we all got to do more, like as parents, as men, as females, as teachers, do you know what I mean? Whatever it is we do, we've all got to do.
As a community, everyone's got to do it.
Yeah, we've all got to pitch in.
But the social media thing, I think that's quite a big part of it, but I'm going to come back to that, and I'm going to come back to yourself. Marcus, if I can go to you, obviously you've been brought up in the later generation. Have you yourself noticed changes from when you was brought up until now? What's your thoughts behind the increase with knife crime and what's going on around in our town in Reading?
I think it's difficult to say with situations with myself, if that makes sense, because I think as a youngster I was involved in a lot of rubbish, if that makes sense.
When you're talking youngster, what age is that?
Between about 17 and 21, really, 22.
Okay.
This is before football. Sorry, just...
Well, basically, yeah. So I got mixed up in a lot of different stuff, if that makes sense. And I think because I got mixed up in a lot of different stuff, it's tough to explain because we was mixed up in different stuff, but we was also sort of, it's weird, like we were sort of good people, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's most of what you said, realistically. We wanted to show face, you know what I mean? And as sort of growing up, I suppose we was most probably sort of like a gang, realistically, growing up. We were, you know what I mean? So we was most probably, we was a gang to a certain degree, but we never fight our own, if that makes sense. Like the people we knew, if you was part of the community, we believe we protected the community as best as we could. You understand? So if I knew you, like Cam just said, I might see you in Slough. We might not speak too tough, but you might see me with my boys. You understand? At the time, and in say i.e. Reading we was, or Wicked, wherever we was, I may see you. You understand? And we might not speak. If I caught you at town and I saw somebody like whacking you up or something like that, me and my boys used to join in and protect you. You understand? Straight away, we never thought, you know what? He's not one of us, F him or whatever, you know what I mean?
So was Reading more united back then, would you say?
100%. 100%.
It was more kind of everyone stick together?
Yeah, everyone stuck together. I think that was because of the generation of our mums and dads. You know, they just come from West Indies, I was the next generation, so I'm like, was it first generation? Understand? So what, like, so first generation.
That shows a real ego.
So what I'm trying to basically say to you is, you know, our parents was fighting a lot of racism.
Yeah.
So when they had to sort of stick together, so when they were sticking together, you got to remember, like, all our parents were together and the kids were together. So I knew everybody before I knew everybody, if you know what I mean. So I knew going down the road, I knew, you know, that was Fly's son, you get me? So I knew, no one didn't have to tell me, you understand? I knew that was, you know, whoever's son, you know what I mean? Everybody knew each other. So straight away, there was that unity there. And I personally feel it's broken down, and this is going to sound mad, right? Might be a little bit from my generation in different ways. You understand? Because I look at, like, all of us now got big men. You understand? Now, I'll be honest with you. This is mad what I'm going to say to you. Most of my friends who I do cruise with, our kids don't really know each other.
100%.
That's true.
And how does that work? Do you understand? Now, how could they go out on road? I've got two daughters. Some of them don't, you know, my oldest daughter doesn't even know some of our cousins that's in Reading. You understand? So it was mad. Like other day, you know, what school did Ryan go to?
Hyden.
No, Ryan, who was here last week.
Oh.
He went, what's the school up opposite Prospect Park?
Prospect.
No, not Prospect, the other one.
They're in, or Hugh Farringdon.
Hugh Farringdon.
Yeah.
He used to go to Hugh Farringdon, you know what I mean? And my daughter was going to Hugh Farringdon, and I said, I saw Ryan one day, I thought, right, my daughter goes to that school. My daughter, all down, most of them know Ryan's her cousin, you get me? But Ryan's my first cousin. So she doesn't know, most probably this, you understand? So it was mad when I said it to Ryan once, I said, Ryan, blah, blah, blah. But that's because we don't do enough together. You know, like, you know, back in the day, you know, man, it's just stupidness, you know. man going down the place hoping to most probably find a new gal or something like that. And it was just stupidness. When realistically you're supposed to bring your kids. You know, they're supposed to know, oh yeah, that's blah blah blah, that's blah blah blah, straight away, there's no problem. Now the kids are coming to places, straight away, they don't know no one. So when they see each other in town, it's like a man out of town to them. You understand? I don't know who he is. He goes to blah 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 school. I don't care, I don't know him. I don't know his people, I don't know. It's madness. That's mad. Man's supposed to know each other. Growing up, I had Saturday school. I had youth club, I had play scheme, you understand? All these things were put in place. So I went to Apollo Youth Club, My generation, a little bit older, maybe a little bit younger, All of us went there. Every black kid virtually went there. Do you understand? So straight away, I go into Saturday school, that's blah, 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 that's blah, 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 that's blah. We all knew each other, you understand? So when we come from there, everyone knew each other, and that's from 4. Do you understand? That's from 3, 4, man, know everybody already. Like, so we get to this age here now, and I'm seeing the generation is just gone. Like, yo, man's. I've worked with the youth as well. Like, you know, and I've seen youth don't talk about this man's fighting each other, and I've got to break it up and blah blah blah. Man don't know how. Man's like. First of all, kids are being disrespectful to you until they realise, yo, Marcus, I heard Marcus was a serious person, or was whatever he was, you understand? Right? And then they go speak to their parents, I know your parents. And then they go and speak to their parents and go, oh, my parents say you're the right person for me. You understand? Because I heard you was XYZ when you were younger, blah, blah, blah. Even when I made it to football, I was still sometimes coming down there doing madness, you understand? Because I was like, that's the way I was built.
Mindset,
You understand? So when I look at everybody and listen to stories and hear everything, you know, all these young kids want to be gangster. You understand? But, you know, I can tell you, I've been all around this country. I've met gangsters. You understand? And, you know that saying they say, you know, you don't know a gangster until you're in a room with a gangster. You understand? And I've seen that. I've seen some notorious men in this country, you understand? And I'm talking about notorious, like, yo, these men are serious. And then you come back home, sometimes you see what everybody's doing, and you're thinking, yo, I'm a nobody realistically in that world, you understand? I remember us growing up, me and my boys thought we were untouchable. We did. We done bare things, you understand? And I nearly died. You understand? A couple of times. I've nearly done a couple of times. I'm not going to make out and lie to anybody. You understand? And knife and axes was around all of my time. You understand? And that's why I said it's what you was mixed up in. You understand? I was mixed up in stupidness. You know, at times I'll give you one quick example. I went to Wickham one night, and it's quite a legendary story around my age group. You understand? So I went to Wickham one day, and I remember going through town, and one of my boys must have said, I'm going to Nouvelle Bonds. So many of you might not know what that was, but that was a club back in the day for sort of the younger man then. You
Wickham,
No, Nouvelle Bonds was down Reading.
Reading.
So it was down Caversham, just by the bridge down there.
By thing, innit? By Spice of the
Spice of the
See what Spice of it is?
Yeah,
that's what it was there.
It
It used to be there. So a man said, I'm going there. And the rest of the man must have said, there's about 8-10 men said, I'll go Wickham. And I was like, oh man, I'll go with the man then with Wickham, you get me? Like, I've got to roll with the man from Wickham. So, like, I looked at the other man and he was like, the other man with me is like, who went to Nouvelle Bonds, it was like my right hand man when we're in a war team, you understand? So I looked at it and I thought, nah, I better go with the other man then, you understand, to Wickham. So I went, anyway, like, it was a lot of the sort of notorious men who could go places, and, you know, many people might look at this man and now think, this man ain't what no notorious man. This man there, many men knew him back in the day, you understand, around the south of England, you understand, Bristol, London, and there was a boy called Mayhem at the time, you understand? And man would look at this boy. And man look at him now and think, yo, he was nutty, you understand? I had kids I was working with saying, I'll beat him up, I said, yo, because he's done what he's got to do, he's basically gone into drugs and blah, 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 crack, heroin and all that. But I'm saying, when you two were the same age, this man's, he was most probably, should have been a boxer because he moved so suave, you know, he was beautiful to watch him fight, you understand? It was, I won't lie to you, it was beautiful. He can move, you can't touch him, you thought you had any wiggles out of it, you know what I mean? He was things, so we was in Wickham one day. I remember speaking to a boy, he was playing for Marlow, and I was playing football for Hungerford. And I was speaking to him now, I forgot his name, Jermaine something, or whatever his name was. Jermaine now, we were speaking, next minute, Wayne's on top of this boy from Wickham, beating him up on top of him. I had to run over there, stop it, because I know the boy I'm speaking from Wickham, blah, 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 stop it. But I felt safe because there's about 12 of us, you understand?
Yeah.
But I walked past my boy now, Jermaine again, and Jermaine said to me, Marcus, look, I think we need to leave, you know, because the man them are on it, you know. So I can remember tapping my boy Andre, you get me? I said, yo, Andre, how much money you got? He must have said, £10. I said, I got 15. I had a taxi back to Reading's 25. I said, yo, I think we should go, you know? So I always had this gut feeling, you know, I
feel the tension.
Yeah, I could feel the tension. I knew something was right. I said, nah, Marcus, I think we should. I said, boy, I'm not sure, you know, I think we should leave. Next minute, another 4 man from Reading come in. So man said, see, cool, man. But Marcus don't feel like Marcus. You know, and trust me, I'm like one of the man. I'm the man at the time then, like the boy. But I'm telling the man don't feel like the man. Man feel like the mouse. Yeah. So I'm trying to say to the man now, like, yo, I think we should stick out. He said, nah, Marcus, we're safe. I went, all right, walking through, my boy Jermaine said to me, Marcus, look, everybody's like on it, you know, want you, blah, blah, blah. And I remember, you know, us might carry tools them times there, you understand? And before we went into the club, all of us put our tools in the Grundon, you get me? So we're all putting the tools in the Grundon, blah, 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 because we don't want to get our tools soaked and blah, blah, blah. So we've gone up in there, is it attic or whatever it was called at the time then, Wickham. So we've gone up in there now. I said, the situation, I had my boy having a fight, blah, blah. I stopped it. Anyway, I said to the boy, look, sorry, we don't want no trouble, apologise, trying to ease it up because I like to be in power. I didn't like to be not in power at them times then. So when I realised now I'm not in power now, I said, right, so my boy said to Marcus, I think you lot should leave. Anyway, I'm still there. Get me at the end, still come out of the club. I think I was one of the last at the club because I was just a little bit unsure about a few things. So someone said, I need to see how the movement is and blah, blah. So I was always quite observant, you know what I mean? Come outside, I see the same boy who Mayhem was fists up, basically. The boy's on him again. So I said to the boy, yeah, brother, allow it, man. So the boy said, no, you're cool. The boy said, you're cool, but your boy? No. Something has to happen to him. So I said, nah, boy, I can't let my boy get hurt. Like, we don't live like that, you understand? So, next minute now, I can remember a boy here on the side. I can always remember he's like this here, like this on the side. So I'm there speaking to him. Next minute I got pushed. So I eased up a little bit because I'm thinking, yo, something ain't gonna right. So this boy must have here said, we need to do them something. Man, them used like it was like 300 Spartans. It was like that at the time. So the man went, boys, are you ready? So it was like that, and the next minute, every man was like, yeah, woo. And they all lift up their tools, you know. Rotted. I saw every man, knife, axe, hammer, everything was there. I'm like, yo, I knew I should have. I was like, No, I knew should have went with my co-P man to Foul Bonds. You get me? Foul Bonds was the place, man. So I'm looking now, yeah? Anyway, I'm looking at the man here on the side here. I'm watching everything, you know, yeah? So look, I can see you all. I can also see this man here. You get me? So I'm watching this brother here. So when I'm watching this, so when I got pushed on Mayhem, the man them still around Mayhem. Mayhem's like, but give
He backing down still.
he ain't backing down. He's thinking, me and my man are here. You're gonna have to do us. I'm thinking, man, look at all the tools. Brother, are you serious? I'm looking up, yeah. Listen to it. I can remember. No one ever lied. When I said like 300, there's 12 of us. They look like 300 of them.
Yeah.
And they all lift up them tools. You understand? And when I looked at all these tools here, I thought, Marcus, what did you do? You idiot. You idiot. You're dead. Like, I just thought dead. Anyway, cut the story short now. When I got pushed now, I eased up a little piece. But everybody's attention's on Mayhem. You understand? But when I'm looking at this brother here, I'm looking at all you lot, but I'm pretending like I'm not paying him attention. Next minute, he swung. Listen, Royston, a guy called Royston must have said, Marcus was like the Matrix. You know, like bullets were coming at you and you were just dodging them. so the man swung, I'm to move like that. His team went over me like that.
Yeah.
All I hit the butt, because I always knew like, I knew how to look after myself quite well, so I always put my back to the something, you understand? So the only thing that's hitting me is from the front, you understand? And I always taught my boys that from quite a young age. So it was weird, I used to teach my boys certain things, like, yo, when we fight and we're in trouble, back to back. You understand? I was always telling them back to back, because if it's on top,
You know where it's coming from.
I know you know where it's coming from, you understand? So you got to try and stay up that side. You've got to stay that side, but we always had it back to back. So I said it to him. So I put my back to there. So when the thing went past me, and I heard ching, yo, I must have done something again. He swung again. I heard ching. I grabbed a man in front of me, one of their guys. Yeah, I ran through the crowd of them like that. When I got through the crowd, I just dashed him down like that. Now that's when man was super quick. Now I got down the alley, started shifting down the alley. When I look back at the alley, that alley was rammed. And all I seen, man, is chasing me. But I was like the biggest one out there. My boys, and I was, well, tallest, not the biggest, like, you know, Jooksy, they might have been bigger than me. But man like me at that time there was skinny, man was a rake. But everybody's chasing me because he's the tallest anyway, so I'm shifting down the alley. Now I'll give you two jokes now from this being the alley. So got to the bottom, like come out there, and one of the guys, quite a big, but it was my height, but it was kind of big. Come on, me and you fight. So I'm saying to the brother, listen, you want to fight? Come jog with me down here. You understand? Because I want to take him somewhere, I was different fit. So I knew he jogged half a mile with me, he's dead. Because there are times that I'm super fit. You understand? Everything was about my fitness. You understand? And behind my fitness I had different power, but as I said, we're going beyond it. As I said, what ended up happening now was that was a situation with the knives and axes, you understand? And when I got there now to the bottom of the road bit, I see a police car. Now I'm thinking, I don't know what's happening to my boys. I'm thinking my boys are getting chopped up, blah blah blah. So when the police car sort of stopped, it was a policeman I knew from Reading. Yo, I was like, yo, brother, whatever his name was, the PC, Marcus, what are you doing there? He had to call me by name, you know, because obviously every time stop and check was a regular thing. So the man stopped me before. I said, I don't know what's happening around there. Get me? But I'm thinking of my boys, But I'm here, I'm good. You know, I said, I don't know what's happening to my boys, but you go around there and man is, I don't know what's happening to him. Anyway, so the police car driving around there, because it's only like 30 seconds around the corner. I'm jogging behind the police car like this. Right? When I got round there now, my boys are whacking up the place. I was like, yo, what? I can't believe it. So what happened to all the knives and axes? What's happened to that?
Yeah.
That was a front. It had to be, apart from the one who swung at me. Because I didn't know what the man swung at me. You understand? It was only when a man told me what was swung at me. It was an axe. You get me? Now, you know, that man swung. When I told you, that thing was hovering past my body like that. Because I can remember me. That's when I was flexible and all them things. You get me? But it went past me. It hit, and if it hit me, I'm not here to tell the story, the truth, because he went 2 whacks and all I can hear behind me is ching. You get me? And when man told me what it was, anyway, you know, this is when the story starts to get wild. You get me? Because now I see another man, it must have been him who swung with me for the axe. I see him sort of chasing like a family member of mine, in a sense. I don't want to talk names and everything, blah, blah, but I saw him chasing a family.
What, is this the same night?
This is all the same night. So he's now chasing, so we got to a situation where all our boys are scattered, but still there's bare of them, you understand? So now my family members run off that way. I saw him run off that way from about 100 yards away, but this man's chasing him. I'm thinking, because he's younger than me, my family member. I said, I can't even leave him because I know what my family's gonna say to me. What, you leave him? Or where was you? So I'm thinking, imagine I got to go where the man is going with the axe. And I've got to run down there to see to get my family back. So anyway, what ended up happening, I don't know if he was hiding, whatever he was doing, me and my family bucked up again. Anyway, it was me, him, and I don't want to call no names, but he won't understand when I say creature, because that's what I used to call him them times, so you get me? So anyway, me and him was us three now. And them two, realistically, were the younger man. They weren't like the generals and lieutenants at them time. Them man, they were just a new breed. You get me? Man, they were the new breed. But don't let us, them man, they become lieutenants and then you get me? But at the time, they were the new ones. You know, like the youngers. They was classified as. It was a couple of years younger.
They were the foot soldiers, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. You understand? They were the new ones. You know. So it basically happened. So now I'm thinking, I've got to protect two man. You get me? So I'm running, hoping. So I said to them two now, look, we need to get to Marlow. I said, my young cousin family must have said to me, yo, we need to get to Marlow and then catch a train and then we to Marlborough station and then we go through London back to Reading. I said, well, there's no train back to we got to wait till 6 o'clock in the morning otherwise to catch a... Yo, I said, boy, we got to jog Marlow then. You get me? So we're there now and we're trying to jog up, the big steep.
Oh, Jesus.
But, me in times, like, us boys there, everything was foot. You understand? We Marlow was 5 miles or 4 miles. That was nothing to us, man. That's what we do. We used to jog around Reading for fun. So man didn't have a car, maybe a bike. You know what I mean? Most probably would have robbed a bike later on if we thought about it. You know what I mean? But we never thought about it. Man said, we got to get out of there. Anyway, so at the time, when we started to go down this bit. Next minute, a car's following us. Next minute is there, man, car full up. Man, got axes, knives, everything in this car. I thought, nah, bro. So I said to these, just follow me. Make sure you stick with me. You understand? I always seem to be, in them times there, and most probably catch me back in some other life, you get me, but I always seem to be kind of lucky to get away at them times. So anyway, we're running down this bit. Cut down sort of like a road like there where all the factories are there, you get me? Cut down there now. Sorry about the story. Yeah. But we cut down there now. So when we cut down there now, it's me, Creature, and I call it troops at the time, you get me? So we're running down there. So when we're going down there now, rah, I hear the man now, we got you now, pussy. I thought, they know this area better than us. Yeah. So we're doomed. So anyway, I must have run back around this thing. It was like a stream going down there, you understand? Behind this building. I look back there, and I look that way. I said, right, we're going to go through the stream, brother. And man looking at me like, what? I said, yeah, well, we'll try and jump over it, because there's a hole over the other side of the sort of fence.
Yeah.
So we ended. If we'd have got caught there, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because where they had us.
There's not even no cameras or
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing there. No one would have seen us. Yeah, so we would have dead where we were. So I said, we've got to jump over. So we jump over, we leg jump in the water, blah, blah, blah. Had to go through the stream to get over to the next side. To go over to the next side now. So obviously, when they got around the corner there, they see, why this man had gone, come! Like, they saw us going through the fence now. So they thought, rah. So anyway, we got through that bit there now. Next minute, I can look up the road now. I can see bare police cars, but it's far. You know, like, I'm talking about far. You know, you can see it, but you're nowhere near them. So I'm thinking, right now, I hate police. Usually they don't want to chase me, but right now, I would love to see them. I want them to be my friend. But we can see it now. So anyway, we got over to the next side. We couldn't run up to them. So we saw a wall. This wall was bigger than me, you understand? But me and troops must have jumped up on this wall quick. Boom! Up on the wall. Next minute, creature couldn't get up. You get me?
Yeah.
Right? So the car stopped. Imagine, I had to jump back down, throw creature up, yeah, on the wall, yeah. Then I jump back up. The car then spinned around. I said to them, no, we're doubling back. Because they know where we're going. When we double back now, we sort of disappeared from them now.
Yeah.
So we're looking up the hill, you know, up Wicklow at the time, we're looking up the hill. So I said to them, man, yo, we've got to go up that hill because that's the way to Marlow. I went, yeah. So we're jogging up the hill. Now this car must have sort of thought these men there's only got one way out for them.
Yeah.
It's like they knew every step. You know, like the film Warriors. No matter where you went,
by the station. Yeah.
That's how it felt. So we're going up this hill now. Next time I see the car coming, I said, yo, duck into the house and let's hide there. That was the first time really them sensor lights ever come. You know them sensor lights, the sensor lights was just new. That was new. So I'm speaking to like creature at the time and troops at the time, and I said, you don't move. Anyway, so we got in there now. We're all on the floor thing. Creature moved. The light come on. The car stopped. Yo! I don't know what made me think. You know what I said to them? Don't move. Even though the light come on, I said, don't move. They're going to think it's a cat. So don't move. I don't know about these sensors. This is a new thing, but what made me say, don't move? The car stopped. I'm watching the car. Imagine I'm like this. Get me? Anyway, they're not there now. Then the car moved. So we wait there a few minutes. And then I thought about it. I was quite a good thinker at them times, really. So I said, you know what we got to do, boys? I said, what? We're hiding in someone's garden. I said, we'll just hide in the garden till the morning. You understand? Because if we carry on the road, it's too dangerous.
Yeah.
You get me? And that's how I thought. So we just hid in the garden, and we was there from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the morning. You understand? So, and then we went up to the petrol station, you know, at the top a bit, and we went in there. We was outside, and the man had the door locked. And I told the man the story. I said, look, we just this blah 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 this had happened. And the man said, come in and sort of thing. If they do come in, I won't open the door. And it was just that sort of love that I knew how to speak to people at that time. So he said to me, the buses are running from 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'd run back down there. When I got back down there, guess who was down there? All the man.
Still there?
Yeah, still there by the bus stop. And we ended up going. 3 hours later, I went and scored a hat-trick for Hungerford. But what I'm saying to you, I nearly lost my life 3 hours before that, you understand? So this is
that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's all different stories. And I could tell you a million, but I'm just saying to you that one that always would be a threshold in my life. And the kids don't witness little things, what we had to go through. I'm not saying, I made it easy for people, because I haven't. You understand? We could do a lot more now. Everything what's happening with these kids, I'm realising we could do a lot more. We need to do more. You understand? Kids, what I've realised since working with them a lot, need consistency. Consistency to me They need to know that they can rely on you, sort of thing. You're virtually a father figure to these kids nowadays. You understand? Because, no disrespect, and Gunter might tell me different, but I think he's going to agree with this. They look up to you.
Yeah.
You understand? When I then made it as a professional footballer, God rest his soul, Keith Alexander, there was a time like I felt like he was like my dad. You get me? Because he was so good to me. Marcus would ring me up. Marcus, I need that player. I need, I think I brought this up a few episodes before about him, how he was with me. And I'm saying to you, like, when a kid gets that, they put faith in the people. And we ain't got that no more. And you touched up it, we need more of that in our lives. And if we could get more of that in our lives right now, for these kids, shall I say, you need people to speak. I think, like you said, you mentioned it, Mo, we need to come together and we've got to be stronger as a unit and we need to go out there and speak to people. You understand? And hold maybe a seminar speaking to these kids and make them understand all different lives. And someone said to me, but they're not going to listen to you, the kids. They listen to you if you can make them relate. Do you understand? If they won't, if you can't relate, yes, they're going to go back on that road and scared. Because there's times I'm scared, even as a big man. You get me? But everybody lives life different, and sorry, man. Sorry.
No, that's good, man. That's good. I'm going to move on to D-Roy. Obviously, coming from a younger generation to Marcus.
I'm glad you didn't put your name.
I was still a young generation.
Have you noticed things change compared to how it was back in our day, would you say? What have you noticed?
See what it is, I'll be real with that. Like, the youths, them now ain't got no discipline, they ain't got no fear. They're like desensitized. They're literally 100% desensitized. Like, you see them out on the road, they'll be doing mad stuff and they'll be glorifying it. You see, like, man our age now, yeah? You would do something, but man wouldn't speak on what they was doing, innit? Yeah. Like, people would know that this person's done this, but people now will be like, I've done this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, to try and get a rep. Like, it's mad now as well, because when you look at it, it was more like the lower class people in like the estates and stuff that used to get more in trouble, innit? Now, like the other day, you're getting middle class, like white kids and stuff like that. Even mad.
Yeah.
Like, people that grew up from good families, they're out there selling drugs, they're doing, obviously, I shouldn't say like, this is gonna sound controversial, innit? But part of me sometimes, you see like drill music as well, yeah? Like, I think over this new generation, like, that's, like, I hear girls talking the maddest stuff as well. Like, from drill tunes, like, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, girls back in the day weren't even like that. They were rowdy, they'll punch you up. Like, I've seen girls do mad stuff, but they're not on what girls nowadays are on.
So you reckon drill music plays a part in the increase of knife crime, would you say? Because I know
I would want to say that, like, obviously, everyone's themselves, innit?
Yeah.
But you see what it is, some people are easily led.
Yeah.
Like, some people will chase clout as well.
Yeah.
Like, people want to be that person. Like, they'll see, like, people that have been about on the road or whatever for years, and they're fresh coming into it.
Yeah.
But now they've got to make that point and try and get up to where these men are, like the names that they heard, innit? So they're gonna do more just to try and prove points now, innit? So I wouldn't say drill music's to blame, but it has like some effect, innit? It plays a part.
Because if we're fair, if we look at the history past 10, 20 years, knife crime has been around way before.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Our day, it was more like grime.
Yeah.
Like, knife crime was about, but like you said, I wouldn't say it was as glorified. And especially if these youths doing what they're doing, it's like, it relates to what you're saying. I think, I would say social media itself
plays a big part.
Yeah, I would say the social media plays more part than drill music. Only reason being, like one of you guys said, a lot of these youths have got pride. No one wants to take that L. So if you've got a situation going on, more time, if you're from that generation, it's getting plastered on social media. And that then takes you over as a person. Because certain things that you wouldn't really do, or you wasn't brought up as, or you wouldn't even agree with, you think, you know what, I'm gonna have to do it. Fuck it, I'm gonna have to do what I'm doing because I'm not trying to be that guy on social media who's looking like a clown or looking to my friends or looking to this.
But do you know what it is? And that's the next thing, is people's mentality.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're looking to like a clown to people that are doing this. Like to normal hardworking people, you're not.
Exactly.
Because obviously you're around these kind of people, you're thinking, oh, do you know what, I need to be like them. But you don't need to be like them.
Yeah.
Realistically, you should just be you.
Be yourself, be yourself.
Everybody lives a different sort of walk of life, innit?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And, you know, in like what you're saying, you know, we're saying social media. Also, there's backgrounds in it. Like, we don't know what this kid's living like. You understand?
That's true.
Why he has to do this, like survive. You know, he has to go out there. He looks on social media, like you said. Wait, that man's making money doing that. Blah blah blah. My mum's struggling. My mum can't put food on the table correctly. I know youths nowadays who can't. His mum can't put food on the table properly. Man's struggling. Youth spoke to me and said, Marcus, look, I've got no other way but to do this, and because my mum doesn't make no money. She's from blah blah blah, and I need to do this. So people go through things.
Yeah,
what we most people don't understand. You get me?
My point is, like with that, that's like it's not fine, but it's fine, isn't it? Like because you're trying to make something out of nothing. Yeah. But then what you're seeing increasingly, people that have.
Now trying to stuff and they're still on this team. Like,
I know man that dads are rich as hell, and they end up going to jail for selling drugs and that, and all they had to do is just, come do this with me or blah blah blah, innit? Yeah. Like because obviously the people that they were around, they wanted to be like them. But they didn't need to be like them. Be like your dad, innit? And then also things like girls and stuff like that. Like you see, like a lot of the girls now, they like these kind of men that are doing this and that. Yeah. So
is that a younger thing?
Yeah, I would feel girls have always liked a bad boy.
Bad boy, that's normal.
Always liked it. Yeah.
It's a younger generation.
But obviously, where people's mindsets have flipped more now, you get me? Like, because back in the day, like girls would like bad boys, and then girls would like normal.
You know what? I think what Gunnar said is correct. Girls always love that. They want to know that they can be protected to a certain degree. You understand? Yeah. So even though, like, you know, we said, they wanted a normal person, blah blah blah. They still want to know they can be protected by that person.
It's understandable, that's security, but
they want that sort of. Sorry, it feels like they always want that little piece of bad boyness, you know. And I know I've been with a girl who, you know, wanted the old man. You know, like how I used to be.
They were in Maverick. No, they was putting that in.
They knew how I was before. You understand? And they remember them. They were thinking, "Yo, with Maverick," or you know.
You said she left you.
Well, I noticed I wasn't right for her. You understand? So I had to, you know, pull myself away from it because I'm not that life. You know,
it's true.
I need to show you that I'm trying to improve myself as a big man I am now. You understand? Because I'm 43. I know you won't believe it. What I'll say to you in all, I'm always still trying to improve my life. You understand? And I always believe you're never too late to improve your life. And that's why I feel like with the youngsters, we could, you know, we need to show them this. You understand? That we could change our lives. You could do it now. You know, you're 16, I know you 17, like you said, putting things on social media. I say I'm trying to quickly say this story here, but I saw a youth one time, I'm at work, boys running quickly. Oh yeah, blah blah blah's been beat up, I'm like, I don't know, they called him by his name, you understand? I don't want to call his name because younger man would know this guy. So I said, no. They said, next one, I don't know the guy. Next man come in and said, blah blah blah's been hurt. You get me? Yeah? And, you know, it was one of the guys whose, you know, brother died today, you understand? He come running and said to me, yo, Marcus, blah 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 blah. So I said, yo, I don't know this guy. He said, yeah, you do, it's blah blah blah. I went, what happened? Yeah, he got beat up. He was 15 at the time, you know? get beat up by a 28-year-old man. You understand? Right? Because they're doing their things, you understand? They're all doing their things, and a story got out, blah, blah, blah. So I went with the youths down the road, yeah, to go and see the 28-year-old man. So the 28-year-old man, if he hears this, he's going to be laughing, Marcus, why are you bringing me out like this? But what ended up happening was, he's on the phone to the youths then, you understand? You could bring who you effing want, you could, God, mama, they could do me now, da 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 da, blah, 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 he's saying to the youths, to them. I said, give me the phone a second, please. So I took the phone to him. I said, yo, brother. He went, oh, no. So I said, what's it going on for? I said, you know who it is? He went, yeah, it's Marcus, man. I went, oh, yeah. He said, oh, Marcus, man. I said, what's up? He said, don't get involved in this. But I said, look, brother, it ain't like that. It's...
You're involved for a reason, innit?
Yeah, I said, I'm trying to solve the problem. So he was like, oh, Marcus, no. I said, where are you? He said, I'm down, blah, blah. I said, look, I'm going to get the youth now. I want to come and see. No, I'm not involved. No. I said, listen. I said, yo, listen. Big man thing now. I'm bringing the youth to you. I want to sit down and talk, and nothing can go on. You get me? Right? So the man like, oh, all right, Marcus, I'm blah, 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 park. All right, no problem. Brought the youth, and all the youths I was with at the time, you understand? So we went down to the park now, saw him. The youths, mad now, like, it feels like Marcus are going to let me get hurt, at least I know that. And so I'm there with the youth now, and the youths are, what the fuck this? Because the same brother beat him up in the supermarket. Imagine 28-year-old man beat up a youth in the supermarket like it's his son, you get me? So anyway, done what he'd done. The youth's crazy, mad, blah, blah, blah. So I said, what kind? So I spoke to the man, I said, why you hit the youth, man? I said, you can't do them things, there's a youth to you, man. He went, no, I beat up my boy, Marcus. No, I said, no. I looked at his boy's flipping, tall, blah, blah, blah. The youth's skinny, you know, but you was big to him. So I said, no, man, you couldn't beat him. He's a big man to you. Your boy's a big man to him, man. Maybe Marcus, he beat him. I got it on video, social media. He said, put it on Instagram. I said, what? He said, let me show you. Now, what the youth done to the man, the 22-year-old man, the 50-year-old done to the 22-year-old man, he beat him up like he was the boy. You understand? Licked him up with some metal bar, throw him in the bush, blah, blah. I said, right, what's going on here? Yo, this youth's moving different. So he said, so I said, what was this all about? He said, yeah. The youth said, yeah, look, he's been teething my weed. You get me? And I said, what do you mean teething your weed? Yeah, he took my weed. This woman was telling him about he was taking my weed, Marcus, blah, 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 this and that. I said, look, I can't tell you what to do because I know a little bit about the youth, why he's doing what he's doing. And I try to speak to him as good as I can to get him off it, you understand? I said, there's other ways, there's got to be something you like out of life, what could take you there. You know what the youth turned around and said? Yeah, I know, Marcus, you always be, you know, is it respectable you? Anyway, speaking to the guy, watch the video, everything, they said, oh, we've got to go see the woman then. So we had to drive, like, 5 minutes around the corner. So we went around the corner, went to the woman now. So all of us turn up to the woman's house. The woman looks at me. She got scared. Right, what's this big guy doing there? You understand? So I understood from the woman's point of view. So she went up in her house now, and she said, I'll come back in a minute. But the woman wouldn't come back out of the house. I'm intimidating her, but she doesn't know what I'm there for. Next minute, her mum comes, what are you not doing there? I said to the lady, oh, sorry, look, I apologise. If I've intimidated the daughter, I really apologise. I said, what the situation is. I said, this kid here has been beaten up. She knows about the whole situation, so I've just come around there to think. I said, look, I'm part of a youth work sort of thing, and I just want to try and solve the problem so everybody's in their head knows what's going on. She must have turned around and went, okay. Whatever the woman's name was, called the woman. Let's use her as a Susie, for instance. Susie, all those blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So, you know, idiot. So she must have turned around. All right, mum, just coming down. Right. So next minute now, she said, look, so this is what it is. Blah blah blah. This kid got hurt by this bar. He said that you said to him that this 22-year-old was teething the weed. You know what he turned around and went? The woman went, yeah, of course he did. He teethed the weed. He told me he was teething the weed. So I grabbed the 28-year-old man. I took him to the side and I said, yo, listen, your boy was lying to you. He said, oh, what do you mean? I said, that woman doesn't care what she's saying.
Yeah.
She's saying that so convincingly, he had to be lying. Your boy's lying. Your boy done the thing. Now, I'm not here to cause any rift, but you done the right thing if it's that world you're in. Do you understand? But I'm trying to get the you out of this world. And the only way I'm going to get this you out of this world, I need people like you to start be doing the stupidness to this boy, so he thinks that he needs a little reputation, because he hangs around with you, I heard as well. I said, yeah, but you're a big man, leave the imps then, man. You get me? You're encouraging him. I'm trying to diffuse this.
And that's what I was saying earlier about who's about them, because again, you said a big man at 28. Now, if I'm 28, I'm not rolling with no 14 or 15 year olds, you know what I mean? So only because of the line of work I'm in, and obviously football is why I have links with a certain amount of children, you know what I mean, young people and that. So that's what I said about the community thing, where it's broken, because again, there ain't no christenings. There's nothing to a christening, for real. Do you know what I mean? And even I know if I go christening, I tell my son, yo, come, dad ain't coming, because again, me and his mum went together, so nah, dad ain't coming, just let me go home. I think, you know, I'd rather you just go home than your face push up the whole christening or whatever, so I won't go home. Same thing you're saying, he don't know some of his family, because when it comes to anything like that, he's quite a shy boy anyway, so he would rather go to his mum's house rather than now come with me to the party or whatever it is. So again, like you're saying, they're not seeing that. So all that boy is now seeing is older man who, not only disrespectful, but not really on nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because even if you're something big in that field, you won't be running with 14, 15-year-olds anyway. Do you know what I mean? If you're a big man in that field at 28, that's beyond you, innit? Man, it's seeing you, innit? Like, you should be moving behind the scenes. So again, if that's their influence, like for one, that kid at 15, what he's thinking, well, when I get to them ages there, man, gonna be moving products still, I'm gonna have a little council place, and that's me, and I have man coming in and out, and I've got a couple of boys working with me, and that's what he's seeing as his ambition, innit? Like, so it's a bit of everything, innit? It's like everything, joining the whole thing. Social media is a problem, parenting is a problem, what man is seeing, community is a problem, there's so much different things. Government with youth clubs is a problem. So even football's expensive. Football ain't cheap. You know what I mean? So teams like Right Choice now not being able to do as much because they didn't get certain funding and coaches and people not helping them as they should be. So Right Choice kind of don't really do as much no more. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a couple of little clubs out, but there's, you know what I mean? You see how you'd have Unity, you would have D Road.
Yeah, they can't take that from them.
Do you know what I mean? There's not much there in it. So even the price of a pitch, I remember when I first was doing Maple Durham at like 16, we'd get a pitch, £30 for a pitch. So with that between 11 man, £2.50 a game, even if you're away, pay £2 and that covers over in your home games, whatever, pay for a referee. Talking £50 all in, you get a game of football on a weekend. After, boy, about 3 years later, man, I'm seeing pitches of £90 a pitch.
Yeah, 100 something altogether now.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, so you're pricing everything, you know what I mean? You're getting priced out of things. So now if you ain't got much money, boy, football, you said, my boys are paying £500 a season. Do you know what I mean, for football? And that's not even with travel. Do you know what I mean? That's just for your kit, your facilities, training, and your matches on the weekend. So that's got a big part to play in it, because there's some boys who probably can play a little ball, but just are priced out of that. So all of a sudden now, nothing for them to do, so they're just loitering, do you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of issues.
I mean, being one reason to blame, but obviously, I'll talk for myself then, because me and you, I've known you for a while. I can't lie to anyone, I've been involved with carrying a knife, mainly, and a lot of these youths are the same, was due to protection. Because I felt like I was at a point in my life where I had to carry a knife, even though I probably didn't. I've lost people to knife crime, and it even got me the other angle that can affect you, where I got a criminal record. So I remember there was a time when I was with you, D-Roy, and I don't know if you remember, it was around when John Claude died. We was walking down Northumberland Avenue, and it was snow them times. Do you remember the police car?
Yeah.
So them times John Claude died and I was just in a negative mindset.
100%.
He got stabbed, whatnot. So I thought, you know what, I've got to arm myself and whatever. Me and my man walking down Northumberland Avenue, ignorant how it is, seen a police car, just picked up a snowball. For no reason, it's gone. But on the windscreen, I just thought, you know
It was
what?
by the community. It was by the community.
Yeah, it was around, that
By
little
the-
roundabout.
yeah,
That, I
by the
remember.
little
And I was
community
thinking, bam. Anyway, these times, because I was in that mindset and frame of mind of carrying a knife, it was just a normal thing.
Yeah.
When you leave your house, you're taking your keys, your phone, knife.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it was.
Because you brought them back from Jamaica, the ratchets.
Yeah,
Remember you
ratchet.
brought us all
Yeah,
the ratchets back,
the
innit?
peak still, yeah. Even then, like, I was bringing ratchets back from Jamaica for the man them. That's how mad
Long.
it was. Like, so, boom, police has pulled over. And like I said, I didn't even realise, it wasn't in my mind that I had the thing on me anyway. Pulled me over, boom, search, that's it, found a knife, bang, criminal record. Even till today, my DBS is just flashing up, knife, this, that, rah. So my point is like, you got to remember the long term is not just the stabbing side, but if you get caught with these things, like you said, you've just been pulled 2 minutes ago, Section 60 searches, and it will affect you. I think nowadays, with the recent increase, the government have heightened the guidelines, so they're sending a lot of men to prison just for possession. Back in the day, you could get caught and I got away with it, I think, on community service or something like. But now they will send you straight to jail, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, and it's going to affect your record. So when you get to late 20s, 30s, whatever you are, you know, it's going to be a struggle to get a job. Just like now.
Can't go to certain countries.
You can't go to certain countries. I've been restricted with just getting certain jobs. You know, even now, trying to jump in with the football and working with youth and stuff.
Go through so much more red tape.
Yeah, they're looking at your history, and I think that's what a lot of these youth need to realise. Like, what you do from now is going to affect you long term. It's going to affect you long term. So if you don't make the right decisions now,
it can have a massive impact.
it will.
100%.
It can hit back in the long run.
And just touch upon that as well. I get it when you're a certain age. Like when we was rolling, we was into music, so we had a little crew, and that was family. Do you know what I mean? On there every day together. Hazardous creepers, there's creepers and hazardous creepers. We merged together and called that. But yeah, man. So leave me in it. But like that was family. Do you know what I mean? So you roll together, ride or die. Like I remember any kind of man. What man's got? I mean, rolling. Do you know what I mean? You call the other man them rolling. I remember we used to have fight with grungers like for parks and like Balmoral Park was our spot. So anytime we see a grunger, yo, what? And it's on top. So I get it's family. When it feels like family, you do anything for them. It's not get twisted. But when I now look back at it, them man I was rolling with, I don't see no more. Like don't get me wrong, I would still talk to some of them. Like one of them I ain't seen in about 7 years, and I spoke to him the other day. We caught up. Like it was nice to speak to him, but when you go through certain things in life, you pick up different friendship groups. So I said, them man I was friends with from primary school, secondary school, I got to say 18. I started going college more, so also I started rolling with a couple of different men a bit more. So them man are still my brethren. I might buck up on them once or twice a week. Before it was 7 days, now it's twice I'm with the other man. All of a sudden, start transitioning from there to working life. Got a kid now, so all of a sudden my circle starts changing. Again, the music thing I was doing, so I left that kind of grime and I went into more R&B and that, so I started moving with different man. And I said, now if you look at my main friendship group, it started from a game of badminton. I had, me and my brother was playing badminton, we called one brother and said, yo, do you want to come play badminton? Again, knew the guy, but didn't really par him like that, innit? So he's like, yeah, cool, I'll bring a friend. We started a WhatsApp group. Next thing I know, we've all gone Southport together. Like a big group of us, like 20 man deep in it, went to Southport. And when you think of how that started from a game of badminton. So now imagine if me and my friend who I was rolling with at 16 done a madness, I don't even see him no more. And I could have rolled 10, 15, 20 years for my man. And don't even see him. Don't get me wrong, if I see him, it's love. But we don't par like that no more. So again, you pick up new friends, you get a girlfriend, you start hanging around doing people, you might move out of area, go uni, whatever it is. Like, doesn't mean they're not your friends, but you've got to be smart at what you're doing in it, because every man has a different path. You know what I mean?
I think that's one of the main things that the youngers don't realise. Is that
when you hear them talking it.
When they're coming with this like, these my, I don't want to say gang in it, but these people are my family and I'll ride or die for them and all of that. I think you don't realise, even me, I was in that mindset when I was younger, like, these people are going to be the people for the rest of my life. Like, I have to ride and die for this guy, I'll go jail for this guy. Like, but then, when you look back at things, like, I look back at my life, for example. So, if I talk about primary school, I done primary school in London, and then my mum moved me up north to the other side, Yorkshire, up north, when I was like 13, so I done whole of secondary school there. Then I moved to Reading and done college. So primary school friends, I'm not in touch with none of them. Secondary school, I'm not in touch with none of them, really. It's mainly people that I've met in my later years that I'm in touch with. So it's like, you need to realise when you're 15, 16, 14 going through school, the people, your life is literally starting. So a lot of us will go to uni, we'll go have children, different avenues of life. Don't think like, this is my same group and this is how I'm going to be, and I'm going to be on the road for the rest of my life. You need to think for yourself as an individual. What are you trying to do in your life? Do you want to play football? Do you want to go into work? Do you want to go into uni? Focus on yourself, because, sorry. Yeah.
That COVID, blood. No, what he's saying is the truth. It is the truth. Like, you know what I mean? You buck up on different people, and all of a sudden you might think, wow, like me and that guy just connected, we got something in common, we both had an idea. We could look at me and you, Moses. I didn't really know you, I didn't know you from then. And it's only because James Powell spoke to me, big up my guy James still. He spoke to me and said, yo, that football team, someone else has got the same idea as you, they want to do a football channel. I said, is it? Now again, I'm a person, I'd rather unite and connect with people than think, nah, let me get my team out before his team. Because I spoke to my mum, I said, yeah, we're doing this. I said, oh, I've got these boys, you said I'm one of the adults. All of a sudden we've got 2 teams and we're gone. Do you know what I mean? Now you've got the podcast, you've got, you know what I mean? I've got a youth club which I started, but obviously can't run because of COVID. So again, now me and you will end up probably being close for the next 10, 15 years. And do you know what I mean? It just started from a game, do you know what I mean? Wanting to do something, do you know what I mean?
That's like me and him. I met him buying a pair of trainers in Foot Locker.
But that's mad, like what you're saying, because I remember these when they were young. So when I'm looking at these, I remember them when they was all 17.
And you cross paths. You cross paths.
I'm looking at them as, you know, youngsters. I remember this you air back in the day.
Me and him too.
So he had potential, but now he wears gowns, not clothes. everything. But that, all jokes aside, it's like you said, you cross different paths. I've crossed a million people's paths through my career, whatever. And like you said about friends, I've got friends who lived a different life to the way I lived life. But I can't speak to them on the phone now and then. Do you understand? It's very rare. You get me? So,
and just one more thing. I don't like that saying real, you know. I don't like that saying real. You see with man, I've got to be real and real and real. I don't like it. Like, what is real, bro? Like, do you know what I mean?
Being real to yourself.
Be real to yourself. Like, there's different ways of doing things. Do you know what I mean? The whole mindset, and I get it because you don't want to look like. Do you know what I mean? If you and your brethren to do something, and you're thinking, I can't even not really go. But do you know what? You need to not go in it because, again, the joint enterprise thing is no joke.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. I don't recall this. Like you're saying, when I was in, I'm not sure if it was joint enterprise then.
Nah, probably not as much.
Now, like
it's not even there no more.
What's that?
Joint enterprise, I don't think it's there no more.
But you see, if something happened, just say someone got stabbed, me and you, us 3 in the room, man got stabbed over there, no one didn't know who did it, but they got us 3 in there. If we ain't telling, then all 3 of us will have to write something. And
that's why I think I talked about this a little bit earlier, just before. We've gone into the actual subject. A man got done, one of my family members got done for something he didn't do, you understand? And he had to go and do a sentence because, like you said, Tom, Dick and Harry over there went and done something. He didn't know exactly that it went like that, you understand? It was only afterwards he noticed he's got bare blood on him, but he doesn't know how comes he's thinking his fists to find out man got some serious wounds, you get me? And didn't know that the other man was the one who was letting off some jokes, you understand? And we could talk about many stories about knife crime, and that's why I said that I've seen a lot of it, you understand? I saw the boy your lot's age gets stabbed up.
when the boy on Facebook.
That one there as well.
Literally.
See, you understand?
There,
I forgot that, but I was
Yeah.
talking about the one outside Mango.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there, and if it wasn't for Assini, I might not have been there myself. Do you understand? Because it was Assini who said, Marcus, move out of the way. Like, I went, no, I was trying to stop it. Like, I went to try to stand in front of the boys because I knew one of the boys.
Yeah.
But at the time, when the boy was walking, they was walking towards me, I didn't really notice. And then I said, Marcus, step out of the way. I stepped out of the way. Yo, seeing what happened after that, you know what I mean? It was a nightmare, realistically, for the whole situation. But
I think if people know we've got to wrap up, but it's the long-term effect it has on families.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, like, we've all had friends that have gone to prison, whatever else. And I remember when my brethren went, the day he was going to court, man, I had a little drink with him and whatever. Brother, the man went and my life went on. Like, it might sound horrible, but bro, I don't even know what prison he was in, bro. I truly don't know. Like, and it sounds bad, but once he went, like, man just went about our life like normal. And then, again, it's a mad mindset because we were together all the time. But, like, not even a horrible man was thinking about him in there. Like, I was 18 or whatever, so I'm living my life and doing whatever I'm doing, maneuvering. And so, again, it's your friend's cool. And again, it's like, they're going to go on and do what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? But the damage you leave behind, like, people have to, you shouldn't have to bury your own kids in it. Touch wood. No one I know has to do that, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? What triggers me sometimes, and again, you've got kids, I know you've got kids, and you have a think of someone close. My son's very dependent on me. Like, he's got his mum and he's got brothers with her side, but he's the only child on my side. I've only got him, so anything he's doing, like, it's dad, like, dad, I need this, dad, I need that, whatever. His mum gives him or don't say I'll do everything for him, but again, she's quite busy, do you know what I mean, with a few kids, so something he's doing quickly, dad, can you do that? Sometimes I sit there and I say, yo, like, imagine, again, this is a big man, innit? You see certain things happening, imagine if now I was to lose my life. Like, how would he survive? Do you know what I mean? And or if he was to go, how's that impacting on me? And do you know what I mean? So it's because what you would find is people might lose their kids. So just say, you've got 3 kids, one of your sons died. As a parent, I don't know how you live with that. So all of a sudden, I might take my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Now all of a sudden, I've got 2 kids now. We've got lost a brother, lost a parent. Like, the long-term effects is damaging.
That's what I'm saying.
If you watch the Khalifa, you seen the Khalifa Brother story on Netflix? Go and watch that. Again, he got arrested for something foolish, but it shows you the psychological effect it had on him. When he come back out, he couldn't cope in mainstream society no more. And he had to kill himself. Like, it's damaging, it's scary, it's sad. Like, people, I know in the heat of the moment, but sometimes you take yourself out of that for an hour, all of a sudden you went back and think, oh right, what's I even stressed about? Like, in every walk of life, innit? Anything can happen, you can walk down, you were saying before, you got stopped. You said about earlier how you got stopped. Imagine now if you reacted differently, and now got arrested, end up getting beat up in jail or in prison. Do you know what I mean? Anything can happen from there. You got to get there. Do you know what I mean? Anything can happen. Do you know what I mean? So it's very much, we've got to look at ourselves. I don't think I've never had it personally. I feel I'm quite well-rounded, very close to my mum, so I talk to her about everything. But counselling, we need to have counselling. A lot of us are probably suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome. A lot of us. But we don't realise, we hide it festers, and then all of a sudden it explodes. The same way you said. When you was going through with Jean-Claude, you dashed the snowball because of what you was feeling inside, internally. But it come out in that, and then now you look at the effects now, whereas if someone had helped you back then.
Do you know what it is as well? Like, sorry to cut you, it's like you said, the long-term effect of what it has on family and friends. So like, me losing a friend now, it put me in that frame of mind that, do you know what, badness, I'm carrying my thing.
You don't care.
Like, I'm looking for revenge, I'm looking to do something, but there wasn't even someone specific, because the brother got jailed, he's gone, it wasn't one of them ones. But it's like,
anybody could have got it, really. Someone looked at you the wrong way, that time of when you was, anybody could have got it that time, innit? Like,
it was one of them ones where it's just like, my brethren's gone, so someone else can go as well. And I think that's the same thing now that we're looking at presently with a lot of these youths. They don't realise what effect their action is going to have on their family, their friends,
other people.
the victims, family and friends, but also the community as a whole. So this is something that I put in the WhatsApp group earlier, that if we look at our town now, Reading, right? Reading is, I won't say upper class, but it's better than a lot of places in the UK.
It's a Queen's County, like I was saying.
He's correct, and what you're saying correct. When I used to play football, they think Reading is a rich area.
Yeah.
It's obviously in Queen's County, isn't it?
It's in Berkshire, and like it is compared to other places. Like I said, I've lived outside of Reading, so I've seen
Other places.
So Reading is up there. But my point is that 10 years from now, if things don't change in Reading, our kids, 10 years, so your son's what, 13, when he gets to 23, if things don't change, Reading will be that town that's like your Bristols, your Londons, your Birminghams, your Manchesters, your Nottinghams, all these places that have had crime for a long time, Reading will be that. And then the kids that are growing up then are thinking, yeah, this is normal, because this is what's been going on for years and years and years. And also, another effect that people don't think about is in terms of the opportunities in your community will disappear. So people don't want to move to places that have crime, robberies, all these types of things. Businesses will just duck out of Reading. No one will want to do business in Reading. Housing, all these types of things, it has a long-term effect. If you go to places like Manchester, certain estates around London, Birmingham, it's just straight poverty. There's no job opportunities,
100.
which then leads to crime. I have brethren from school, their mums are prostitutes, their mums are crackheads, their mums are this, because there's no jobs, and it's due to the crime in the area. People don't want to live in that area. It doesn't matter how cheap you put the rent, if there's no jobs, then no one's gonna want to come and live there. So the thing that we need to in Reading is for people to realise that Reading is a perfect town for living and raising a family. The way I see it, it has its ups and downs, but compared to other places, you can walk around freely, you don't have to worry, and in terms of, again, job opportunities, business, there's a lot of opportunities in Reading. I think, like I said, one of the main reasons that I'm hearing from youths on the road is due to protection, that they want to carry a knife. But even with the protection thing, I mean, it's a touchy one, but I would just personally say myself, think before you pick up that knife. Because 9 times out of 10, the situation is not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think.
I've carried one as well.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm not going to make out look I haven't been a youth who, when I was a youth, haven't carried it. I won't lie to you. When I got in a situation where I ended up breaking my hand. You understand? Like, because of the situation I was in and what I'd done on the day. And that's after football, basically. You understand? I'm sort of not playing pro football no more. And I've gone a little bit back into the world I knew. You understand? And I got in a little situation and I started carrying the team just because I thought if these men come for me, you know,
I've got to be ready.
I've got to be ready. It's not going to be me. You understand? And I'm saying that at a big age.
I do understand that. I do understand that. Self-perseverance, innit? Like, there's me or them. I've got to walk out of this alive, innit? But
and it's a shame. It's embarrassing. I'm telling you that at a big age, and you know, it hurt to say that. I have to tell you that. You know, it was a situation. It was just quickly, and the man just turned around when a situation occurred, and one of their man must have said, "Huh, Marcus used to look after us lot growing up. When us lot was in trouble, Marcus defended us. He would make his boys even defend us." And that's how that sort of beef got squashed through their sort of leader, if you understand. Their leader had to sort of tell them, yo.
So luckily there was someone in the middle to kind of stem the situation.
Yeah, but it was accidental, if you know what I mean. I knew the youth from, because he's still like a younger man for me, he was, you understand? but I used to look out for everybody. You know, growing up, I made sure I tried my hardest to look out for everyone. And that's what you have to say to the man. No,
But-
not Marcus.
And this is where I was saying earlier about the older guys, whoever it is, I said there's always going to be certain man that's on the roads, there's going to be certain man that will go to college, there's always going to be different walks of life in it, but the responsibility on them to a certain degree is there as well, because they've got to be the ones, I said, the fusion, innit? Like, how many times have we all got into something and I would know this person, he would know that person, and them two will have the conversation. Say, yo, listen, I know them man done that, but let's just leave it as that now. The same way you're saying that Regin had to step in and say, nah, do you know what, he's a respectful man, and again, that will just diffuse everything down, innit? So, as the older man, sometimes you've got to be the one to say, yo, that can't run no more. Whoever it is, you're bringing heat to the streets. Because now, if you are in that works that way of life, there's police everywhere now. You can't move no product or nothing like that. Do you know what I mean? So, again, it's
pandemic.
So, it's, do you know what I mean? Everyone's got responsibility, in my opinion. Everybody, do you know what I mean? So, obviously, what you're doing is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? We've now got how many boys in that team? Some boys ready to transition to be with men.
What you lot are doing, brilliant.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have teams below. Obviously, I'm now got the youth club trying to run. So again, it just goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? And the more people involved, you now got this. So now, again, if I've got an issue with kid, I'm not able to get through to. Because again, he might look at me and say, "Well, you're not about the, you're not on the road. You don't know what I'm going through." I need to know I can call on my man who's been there, or call on the next man who might be in the area. Say, "Yo, this one here, there's a good kid in there. You know, he just needs some guidance." But he ain't gonna look towards me because I haven't grown up how he's grown up. But you have. Now, I need you, even though you do what you do, I need you to keep talking to him and telling him, nah, stay on the right path. You not trust them man there. Because again, he ain't gonna trust me. Because he's thinking, boy, you work for whoever you work for, you could easily call the police on me or whatever. But it needs them man to say, yeah, no, you want to do a good thing with him, go and follow him because he'll take you where you need to go. You don't need to be here with me. Do you know what I mean? So it needs something not to glorify it. Do you know what I mean? I think there's very much a lot of glorifying.
It's going to take people to kind of like you said, be the bigger person and try and stem the situations that are going on and think twice. I mean,
takes a village to
raise a child.
I'll touch upon a situation that happened with me last year. I'm not going to mention names because you don't know the individual or the person's dad. Let's put it that way. But I'm driving through town down Fire Street. I was with a brethren now, and I come back to Reading, so I haven't been in Reading for a few years. I come back, and I've seen a bag of youngers just swinging, a mad fight happening outside Nando's and Treats. But I noticed one of the youths fighting is my brethren's little brother. So I pulled over the car, jumped out, got in the middle, tried to separate the situation. But them times there, I'm hearing that there's a lot of situations going on with London youths and whatnot. And like I said, because I hadn't been in Reading, I didn't know who these youths were. So I thought, no, I've got to definitely try and stem what's going on. So boom, managed to separate the situation now. Anyway, we've ended up at the back of Treats, you know the alleyway where everyone parks?
Merchants, whatever it is.
Everyone's ended up there, and when we managed to separate the youths, I've seen the main youth who's fighting my boy's little brother now. He's now confronting me and he's just whipped out a thing. So I'm thinking, I literally just saw my life flash before my eyes. I'm thinking, nah, it's Pete now. But 2-2s now, I'm looking at the youth and I'm like, brother, I know your dad, do you know who man is? He's looked at me now. I'm like, brother, your dad's so-and-so. I used to see you when I used to get my hair cut in Trevor's. You used to be sat there playing PlayStation with your nappies on. What are you doing? And then from there he's like, oh shit, he's put his thing back. And from that we managed to kind of solve. We didn't solve it, but I'm not gonna lie, I called up his dad, I said, so and so, look, your son's moving mad. And the dad was just grateful because he said this isn't the first time someone's called me about him. About 6 months later, I saw the dad again and I was like, how's your son doing? Is he alright? Is he keeping out of trouble? He said, look, sent him to the army. He's in the army, he sent me a picture. You know what I'm about? Okay. He sent him to the army and he said he's a changed man and whatnot. So, like you said, it's going to take people, not just the olders, but the youngers, when they get confronted in situations, just try not to react. I'll even go to another situation, because we're going to wrap it up soon, talking back into football and the whole give back, my very first training session that I organised back in July last year, our fights kicked off with a man who signed for us and a man who hasn't signed for us, but he was coming to trial. But the joke is, these two guys was brethren. They're both the same age. I think that time was like 16, but they're both good boys, both ballers. What's happened? They're on the same team, had an argument, and they've confronted each other. One of them's hit the other one, but when that fight's kicked off, you know how it is, everyone's run over, trying to separate, and all I'm hearing in the background is talks of knives, and I'm calling this man, and I'm calling that man. And like I said, this is my first training session. I'm just wanting this to run smoothly. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Anyway, the good thing is, in the end, we did manage to stem the situation. Luckily, I knew the boy who threw the punch, I knew his older brother, spoke to him, who then spoke to the younger brother, and he ended up contacting me and apologising. I never thought in a million years this youth would apologise because of the way he was moving, and you know what I mean? But this is my point. We have to be the bigger people in these types of situations. It's not about looking soft or looking like you're weak or looking like, oh, he's a pussy or whatever. You have to think long term, because I could have just said, you know what, boom, you two go over there, do your thing. Or I could have said, both of you never come back.
Yeah, come back, turn it back on a minute. And
the youth who got punched, I said to him, look, don't worry, that wasn't your fault. You haven't done nothing wrong, because you didn't punch him back. I said, you haven't done nothing wrong, you're cool. I said, the youth who's thrown the punch, he's going to get speaking to. And even then, when he did apologise, I said, look, now you've apologised, as long as you squash the things with my man, I'm happy to have you part of the setup, but we're going to have to keep an eye on whatnot, do you know what I mean? So it goes back to what you're saying, Marcus, that you can't just give up on these people. Even if they've made a wrong in their life, if there's no guidance for them, then these wrongs are going to happen. You can't just say, right, he's this, he's that, he's been to jail, he's always rare. You have to keep drilling it into these youths. And someone asked me today, like, how are we all going to do that? My thing is, if you've got kids, little brothers, little sisters, nieces, nephews, neighbours, start with those people that are around you. Start with those people around you. Find out what you do in your daily life, what you're doing on a daily basis. It's not being nosy, it's finding out how you can help them, how you can advise them, how you could forward them down the right.
From that's how the youth club started. Literally, again, from football, talking to the boys. One said, you want to meet at IKEA car park? You're right there, bro.
It's hot in there.
That t-shirt's too tight, that's why it is, bro.
Tight, bro.
My kind of circulation. Sorry. So they would meet in IKEA car park, and that's where they would chill. And I was like, how could you chill there? And it was like, there's nowhere else to go. So I said, wow. So from that, I said to myself, right, let me book a hall once a month. We'll just get a room and we're just going to play FIFA. You man can just link up, play FIFA. And then I said, yeah, we kind of like a youth club. And I said, what's a youth club? I said, oh my God, you man don't know what youth club is. These guys are 13, 14, 15. I said, right. So again, it was meant to start for just them boys. And I thought, I can't just have these, but I've got to open up to the wider thing. And again, like you're saying it, just by having conversations with them, you're realising what they are missing out on. And again, not everyone can give up so much time, but again, if you just help one in it, and then that person can pass it forward. There's certain teachings certain man gave me, which I remember and give to other people. Do you know what I mean? And you'll be the same again. You probably and people remember what you've taught them, and hopefully pass it down. But yes, it's about being positive in it, and I feel. So I know I'll go on, but a lot of the kids as well got low self-esteem, real low self-esteem, and that's where a lot of the aggression comes from. So it's about building that stuff up. So with regards to football, I've always got a couple of fiery boys, and I've always made a point, if they lose their head, they can come off and stand next to me, but I'm not going to substitute them. So parents look at me like, again, football's passionate, we want to win. Why is he stood there for? I said, because he needs to learn how to control that. But at the same time, he needs to know he's letting his teammates down right now because he's stood next to me. So as long as he wants to he can take 10, 15, 20 minutes. I ain't putting another player on. We play with 10 until you're ready to go back on and face up to what the situation is. So again, this happened earlier in the season. Man's lost his head. It's a big team, like a big game. Gone down to off you come. Take your time. When you're ready, you go back on. But fight because he wants to fight. Fighting ain't going to solve nothing. Do you know what I mean? So make him play through that. He has to work out himself. So it's them teachers. We can't save everybody by solving all their problems, but again, we've got to work with them, stand by next to them, and guide them through. Do you know what I mean? So again, it's all good. We can all talk it, but again, what actions are we going to do? Same as the Black Lives Matter thing we spoke about a few weeks ago. Anyone can talk it. I see a lot of FA man coming out now and putting pressure on Facebook and Instagram. You need to do more, blah, blah, blah. But what have you done within your environment? Because there's still enough racism in the FA. Do you know what I mean? So they were quick to point the finger at Facebook and Instagram, but have they done enough? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's time for talking, it's time for action. All of us need to just do you know what I mean? Again, the same way you stopped, I'm not gonna lie, I might see that, I might think, wow, I can't get out there because I don't know what them man have got. So obviously I might just drive past that and turn a blind eye. Do you know what I mean? So fair play to you for stopping, because again, you've put yourself in a situation. But at the same time, do you know what I mean? It's a difficult one.
It's mad because the same person you're talking about, I had to stop in a park.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Do you understand? And I spoke with his family. Do you understand? And I even said to his family, have faith in him, because he's a good in general.
That's what his dad was saying. Like he's doing well in school. He's actually good.
I know him to be. You understand? So I knew he sort of associated with certain people. Do you understand? So I'm saying, look, I said to his family, have faith in this guy. I don't want to say, no, watch this and they all Marcus, my family, when it's not that. I'm saying this youth to me was always good, and I had faith in him. And I said to his family, have faith in him. And next minute, you know, I was buzzing. I remember saying to the person's family, I told you, I told you. And they was like, they laughed at me as well. They were like, well, because you did say, you know what I mean? So it was good.
And again, there's no better feeling than when you see a young boy grow up and doing well for himself. Like I see D-Roy now and man used to be outside Blockbuster and Emma Green doing a madness. You saw me went outside on Friday night.
You saw me in what?
Yeah, but outside on a Friday night, blood. I used to see you up in them ends, but nah.
Yeah, because I know where you
was. I was working. But
no,
they said there's nothing better than when you see them come, you know what I mean? For you, especially you've been around a long time. So you've seen a lot of man come up, so. But again, when you see a man, like, I told you we won today, RT won today, so man's here. But nah, as I said, it's, for me, it's no better feeling than, they said, I was being in your spot the other week and I said, I love how you man's age and younger, you're not ain't scared to do like certain things for yourself, try and do things. So when we grew up, it was all about just get a job and work, and that's how we followed our parents. But as you man are saying, nah, do you know what? I might do a little job here, but I'm going to work on my clothing brand, or I'm going to do, I was saying, like Conco Media's doing his thing, you know, doing your thing. So like that entrepreneur things, like I love watching it. I'm seeing you man, and I'm saying, yo, like these man ain't scared. I know even for me, like, I'm still sitting there like, oh, I could go and work for this school, where I should be thinking, how can I set up my own? Do you know what I mean? So I feel, what's wrong with you, man? Never be serious, isn't it? It's serious. But yeah, no, so as I said, I feel there's definitely some good going on. I don't want to seem all negative at all. But again, it's now, you man who are doing your thing, how could you grab a van and say, yo, look, what, you interested in art? Look, come let me teach you how to do t-shirt design. Let me teach you how to do this. And shout out my boy, I can't remember his Instagram name, but Roman, we're going to tag it in the thing.
The young boy.
Does the kids?
I'll tag him,
yeah, bro. You know how happy, I mean, I did message his mum. You didn't know his mum as well.
How old is he?
He's 14 or 15.
14?
Yeah, he's year 10. And he's designing his own trainers. And I said, so he's a man, and even I said, I've got to buy a pair from him because, again, let me put a little 50 or 60, whatever it is, pound in his pocket. So it says to him, right, I can make money. I ain't got to worry about going to sell, whatever. Like, do you know, I'm proud. Like I said, the man messaged me saying, yeah, I'm doing this. And he was a boy who would come into like the kick sessions and whatever. So I was like, right, and the trainers actually look good. So he's designing his own trainers. He's only 14, 15 for Christmas. His mum messaged me saying he didn't ask for no tools and present. He just asked for pure stuff to do the training. So all the paint, the stencils. So he's trying to better himself. And I'm saying that I can get behind, do you know what I mean? So I don't really tag too much on my Insta. I don't really, if you look at my last picture, I don't know how long ago I posted it. But like with his stuff, I'm sharing it. Every time he puts something, let me share that. And again, just that there, hopefully other kids will follow and think, wow, I can just do something.
Because if he carries that on now, 10 years time when he's 24, you don't know where he could be.
Exactly that. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff going on, but And again, we've got to do more to highlight the good stuff. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
We've got to do more to highlight the good.
Sorry to go on with it, but the more you highlight things like that, it more makes other youngsters feel like
Encourages them.
That's the word. Sorry, encourages them. Yeah, we could do something. I've got ideas because most people's got ideas. Just most people don't want to take that chance. You know what I mean? And you know, I don't really want to talk about this, but look how close I was with one of my ideas.
Yeah.
And that team's now massive now, isn't it? It's like the biggest thing.
It is one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
And I had that out 3-4 years before that.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing now, like, you know, people all over the country. Marcus, delivery, like, you remember you was doing your thing before that. Blah, blah.
Yeah, he was doing that still back in the day. Yeah.
But it's because you did it as the support unit. What we're talking about. Do you understand?
That's even with, say, with the football teams. When they say, why does it happen? They have teams every year. It's like, boy, once the parents, again, it's like me, once my son gets age, I might stop coaching. So all of a sudden now, that team's lost another, whoever I'm coaching for loses another coach, and all of a sudden now you're down to 3 coaches. Because you can't pay, it's very difficult. So, it's about everyone just trying to give a little bit. Do you know what I mean? When people say to me when I started the youth club, look, what can I give for you? I said, all I want is time. Like, if you could spare 2 hours every 2 to 3 weeks and just come in and spend some time, that's all I want from you. Don't want, do you know what I mean? Just come down in it. Even
you see now, like the network we're doing, you're saying you drop it in a group, whatever groups they are. Look, any man free. Blah. Well, listen, my mum, like I always tell people, my mum used to tell me no when I wanted to sweeten her. So no's are nothing to us. You understand? It's that yes where we that's good. Could you be down there by like this is such a no problem. There's always people who could do it, but you know sometimes people
too proud to answer.
Too proud to answer. We should be proud, not especially when we know each other. You understand? Like I said, I remember you guys from young. You understand? This is what I do. You understand? Not like we look at it different in age, but we.
On that note.
Today, like, ugly. He's had his week.
I wasn't talking about you. You look older than me. I was talking about mine.
But guys, what I'll say before we do wrap it up, this is more for the guys that are watching this, especially the younger generation. If anyone at all in Reading, feels that they need someone to speak to, or they need guidance, or they need help with anything in life, feel free to contact ourselves on the Give Back page. We're people, a lot of us, who will literally come out and visit you and see you, or contact you by phone, and hopefully guide you and keep you out of trouble. So anyone out there who needs help, then we're there for you. I appreciate everyone coming down, and the viewers, if you don't forget to just like and subscribe to Give Back TV
and share
that as well to family and friends. Especially this episode is to raise awareness to everyone, the younger generation, the older generation. One last thing I will say, parents, a lot of the parents out there are not aware of what's going on with their kids out there. So I think especially the older generation, if we can get that out to them as well, so they're aware of what's going on.
Very true. Very true. By the way, just on top of that, because I do want to say something like you said, sorry, I do apologize. My brother is promoting his Mrs. Docs. Any talks in the near future for your missus?
Please.
You know that's the